Hey, good morning. Just thought I'd show you kind of the next step of my morning groove. Get up early, feed the dogs, make coffee, try to read something inspiring. Usually I try to write. Then I get out and walk, and you see me walking all over in the dark in the early mornings. That's been just a great addition. I come back feeling pretty awake, pretty alive. Next is this little piece that I do. It's a strengthening, stretching kind of just early morning routine that I built in a long time ago. It's good for my lower back. It's good for my mindset. It's just kind of a quick way to hit a bunch of muscles and get started. And then I clean up and get to work. So here's the next phase of that. Just so you can see it. There's going to be some fantastic photography here, but so I'll get down on the floor, get a good mat. Yoga mat works good. This thing's good because it's got some cush. I go into a couple stretches. First are two yoga poses. Child's pose. This one works just really good for a nice stretch in the lower back. And I will, me and my buddies here will get down on the floor. I'll spend a few seconds in this until it feels like that's kind of loosened up pretty good. Then I'll go into another yoga pose that they call Cobra. The point here is kind of just extension. Try to pull your guts into your spine, and I'll try to just hold everything up to my spine. I'll go back and forth between those two positions, sometimes 2 or 3 times until it kind of just feels like, okay, that's loosened up. Okay, from here, I'll usually go into a side posture. This is what they call a nerve flossing exercise. The intent here is to kind of stretch these, not stretch, but move these glute muscles that can sometimes trap part of the sciatic nerve and can cause you some issues. So I'll go into this motion, which is basically flexion, extension, and then raising the leg up. It's 3 distinct motions. So flexion, extension, so back behind me, and then up away from my body. And I'll do, depends on the time frame I've got and all that, but I'll usually do about 20 of these on this side, and then I'll flip over, do 20 over here. Same thing, flexion, extension, move away from the body, like so. And again, I'll do about 20 of these. In the beginning, even 5 of these felt like a lot. But you'll notice I kind of have my thumb here kind of dug into this, what's called the gluteus medius muscle, kind of pin it down. That allows the nerve that's kind of moving through that area to kind of be flossed. It sort of breaks up little adhesions and things like that, and lets it move easier through that tissue. Once I've done that, usually I'm going to get on my back. I don't know if you can see this stuff. I'm going to make a figure 4. Yeah, you can see that, okay. Figure 4, I'm going to grab this knee. I'm going to pull it to me and across me. Get a real good stretch in the glute on that side. I'll just hold that. The more flexible you get, the more you can hook your knee on that ankle and raise that up as you pull this to and across. And that's a great stretch for those glute muscles. Notice I'm not really twisting. I'm just kind of drawing this to me and across me. I'll do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'll stretch each a couple times until they both feel like, they've loosened up pretty good. From there, I will usually go into push-ups because I'm down here. You can overdo on push-ups and start to get some issues in the elbows and things like that. But depending again on the day and the time, I might do 40 of them. Some days I want to do 100. If I do too much of that without balancing out with some other muscle groups, then I can get some tendonitis and stuff like that going. So, but great for just working the core a little bit, getting chest and shoulders working, and just one more thing that kind of just gets the day started. Last thing I use is this thing. This is called a core coaster. It's just like that thing it reminds me of what do they call them? The scooters that we had in grade school PE class. This is a triangle shape. This is a great core exercise, and what I like about it is it's also kind of like that wheel with the stick through the middle, which is kind of an awkward thing. This is a similar way to work your abdominal area and core without having to have strong, healthy wrists and elbows and shoulders. So what I do is I'll get on here, elbows on here, And then I'm just going to push out and extend down till I'm flat. In the beginning, I usually recommend that people just do like, 18 inches or so. Because once you get out here, the only way back is to activate your core. And so I will do probably, 20 of these every morning. Out flat, hold, and then back in. And just be as slow and deliberate as you can. The stronger you get at it, the more you can add. And then the last thing is this posture that I don't know the name of. I kind of call them bird dogs or something like that, where you just extend opposite arms and legs straight out and reach. Seems like it activates a nice stretch in the core and balances out some of those muscles and stuff. So that's my morning groove, about 5 minutes long after about a 20-minute walk. I'm usually pretty good to go. Lately, if I have the time, I'll hit some dumbbells and do some curls and some shoulder work and stuff like that. Again, maybe another 5 minutes. So all total, I sort of started with the very basics, and now I'm getting 30 minutes or so of activity before I leave for the office in the morning. And it's just been good for me. It's really been good for setting the tone of the day, feeling like I've accomplished something physical. The whole rest of the day kind of feels like a bonus when you crank that out early. And yeah, I mean, if you check some of those really important things off your list in the early day, it just feels like a win. It feels like a good start. It feels like, whatever comes next is going to go well for you. So if you're looking for what to do, reach out to me or where to begin. You're probably not going to start off with 40 minutes of, focused activity in the morning, but if you can get 5 minutes of mental work and 5 minutes of stretching your body and maybe 5 minutes of activity, it's going to start to manifest itself into some real positive changes. So that's the rest of that. I'll bring you more as I think of it. Have a great one.